Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Monday morning espresso shot. So now let us begin with our usual practice. We will start our practice doing a heart-mind technique. So let us begin the heart-focused breathing technique. We're going to do this for 5 minutes. For those of you who are new, we'll do this for 5 minutes. Let's place our awareness in the area of the heart and take slow, deep breaths. Visualize this going in and out of your heart. And just take these slow, gentle, deep breaths and experience them flowing in and out of your heart. Breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. And just ease into this feeling of calmness. Take slow, deep breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. And just experience this amazing feeling that you're getting. This amazing energy. And just take these slow, deep breaths and allow these to flow in and out of your heart. Breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. Beautiful. You may leave your eyes open or closed. It's your choice. But do practice this breathing technique with your eyes open. Because it is there where you actually begin to use it in real life. This is where the power in this technique comes in, when you actually use it with your eyes open. Slow, deep breaths. And visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. Breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. Slow, deep breaths. Notice if your shoulders are moving up and down. If they are, you may want to stop doing that. This is meant to be a gentle movement. Slow, gentle movement of your body. Beautiful. I have the honor and privilege of broadcasting from southern Germany in a province of Bavaria in a town called Uberlingen. Today, my topic is about programming your body and how to unprogram it or reprogram it. And really, the only reason we want to reprogram our body is because we have learned behaviors. And let me illustrate with an example that was done many, many decades ago. There was a scientist called Pavlov, and he used an experiment with a dog that every time he fed a dog, he rang a doorbell. And when it was dinner time for feeding the dog, he would put the food in the cage and then ring a bell. And then he would continue to do this, and the dog became used to hearing the bell every time food was presented. Then after some time of repeatedly doing this, the Pavlov decided to just ring the bell but not provide the food. And so when Pavlov rang the bell, the dog started salivating in anticipation of food because that was a learned program, learned response in the body. Pavlov had the dog hadn't seen the food, but just from the sound that was associated with the food, uh, started salivating. Now that was a very interesting thing that we all learned. I mean, we all learned about Pavlov's dog in high school, but not many of us learned this particular fact that what Pavlov did was he continued to ring the bell but not present the food to the dog. And after a while, after doing this for some time, the dog realized that there was no food coming and disassociated the bell with the actual food. And so the dog would not salivate anymore. So that is a process of programming and unprogramming the body. Now, why is this important in our everyday lives? The importance comes in when we are habituated to do something. We're always doing the same thing. We're into a routine. And our body decides that when we do something a few times over, it allows us to not think about it anymore because it becomes more efficient. It actually programs it into our system such that we do things mechanically, automatically, and it actually becomes a program in our body that runs. Now that is great if you're learning a new route uh, to go to work, because when you do, a few times you get to work, you begin to now automatically take the roads, and you're not really sometimes consciously present, but you have to make a right turn here. Often, I've been, every time I go towards where I used to work, I would, if I passed by it, sometimes I would turn into work, automatic response. So our body is programmed very efficiently to become automatic. If you're not fully present in that moment, you go and run into these automatic programs. That's what happens with our behaviors. Many of us respond to stimuli, such as a person walking across the street that they are threatened by because of a past association of a similar type of person or a similar street or some noises that came around. And the person reacts and responds aggressively. So these are the learned behaviors that are in our subconscious. But what's interesting is that once you catch yourself and become present and understand that I'm being triggered right now, and that triggering is really creating an emotion that's not rational because this person is not there to hurt me. So once we become present and we understand that, we start disassociating, but it takes time to disassociate that behaved or programmed emotion. And sometimes what we do is we go back to our old self, and we don't even ask ourselves why we are reacting in a certain way. Individuals who are triggered by authority figures can relate to this. Whenever somebody establishes an authority, and if you're always triggered by an authority figure, you always get triggered. But the wise person will start asking, why am I triggered by this person? And once you start asking that, you become more aware. And then when you become more aware, you can disassociate that and say, no, this is not the right time to get triggered, or this is not the appropriate, or this person doesn't mean to harm me. And you disassociate. And it takes practice and practice and practice, and you can unlearn a behavior and replace it with a better behavior. So I hope this has been useful. And now let us begin our breathing practice. All right, so let us now begin to place our awareness in the area of our heart. And we're going to do a quick coherence technique, which is an advanced level of the heart mind alignment technique. So let us place our awareness in the area of the heart. Take slow, deep breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of our hearts. Breathing a little slower, a little gentler. And just settle into this rhythm, this wonderful rhythm that you have. Beautiful. Slow, deep breaths. And make these breaths symmetrical. If you're going to take a 5-second breath in, take a 5-second breath out, and that makes it symmetrical. And it allows your autonomic nervous system to become more balanced. The autonomic nervous system controls 90% of your automatic bodily functions, like breathing, enzyme release, digestion, things like that. So you want to allow it to be balanced, and so take those deep breaths in and exhale and make these very symmetrical. You can practice this driving, you can practice this walking, in the shower, while doing dishes, while cooking. Slow, deep breaths, and just visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. And now what I'd like you to do is to experience a regenerative emotion. Experience gratitude, appreciation. Experience a positive emotion. Reach back from the past. Bring forward an emotion that gives you some exhilaration, that makes you feel alive, that makes you feel excitement. And when you bring back a past memory to do that, to achieve that, your body can't tell the difference. Your body is not aware of the difference. It thinks it's happening right now. And when that happens, there are some biological responses that happen in your body that release anti-aging hormones. Actually stops the stress response and begins to repair and rejuvenate any kind of diseased cells. So this is what we want to do. Experience these amazing emotions and breathe them into your heart and exhale from your heart. Breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. And in this instant, I want you to experience the what of your desire for 2018. What feeling would you like to have when you are actually immersed in achieving this desire, when you've actually achieved it? What feeling will you experience? I want you to feel that right now. Draw it in your heart and feel that right now. And now anchor in the intention that I surrender to how I achieve this feeling. I surrender to the universe, and by surrendering, I will have no specific thoughts or design on how I am going to achieve that feeling. But I'm going to surrender the how to the universe. I will simply follow the cookie crumbs that the universe leaves in its trail to direct me onto this path. And surrender the how. And make your what very strong. That's your feeling. And if it doesn't feel very strong now, practice. Practice the what, practice the feeling of what it feels like when you actually achieve your desire. And surrender the how. Slow, deep breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. Breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. Beautiful.